Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm gonna actually give you a tour of our garden, our urban homestead, and we're gonna talk, or I'm gonna talk about what we're growing here in the fall in November. So for most people, when they actually gardening and they live in a cooler climate, this is when you put the garden to rest. For us here in San Diego in a warm climate, this is when things are really happening. We just planted our winter garden. This means that December, January, February, March, April, maybe May if we're lucky, this will be Mecca. If things will grow really, really well, because it's gonna be cooler climate, it's gonna be some rain, fingers crossed, so that it makes it just easier to grow. But anyway, here we are, it's cooler climate. As you can see, I'm wearing a long sleeve, and things are going really, really well. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is that we build new boxes. So this year, in the middle of a dead heat, my husband James did rebuild them, and he made these boxes. These are just fantastic. It takes way more soil, but it actually makes much more life in there, and the soil is better, and they drain much better, and earthworms can come up. And for people who are starting this, I would tell you to never ever put plastic in the bottom. People would do that thinking that the weeds gonna come up. Weeds would never grow up this far, and you're actually preventing earthworms and also the draining. So like if you want to put something in the bottom, cardboard paper or newspaper would be my suggestion. And you never ever want plastic when your vegetables are growing anyway. Okay, so let's go look at what's growing here, okay? So this is the first box that we planted for this season. I think we planted this like July or something like that. And look how beautiful it's growing here. This is because we grow a lot of green leafy vegetables, because that is what we eat most of. Because it's so easy to just pick it and bring it in and make a salad. It doesn't require any steaming or cooking, anything like that. So we have kale, curly kale, which is our favorite kale. And we also have arugula that's been really, really fun, adding a little spice to the salads. And then of course we have some other purple kale, and we also have some beans here. Beans were not doing so well earlier, but look at them now. Here we have a lot of beans coming. I'm gonna have to prep this up a little bit, but look how beautiful, and look at the beautiful flowers in there. So we're gonna definitely have beans for Thanksgiving. And then we have all our romaine lettuce and lettuces, and some of them are going in bloom. And I wanted to say, I tend to leave and let my salad go into bloom, and I will just put them in the box, because what happens is that sometimes then the new salad will come up. So this is like a volunteer then. Over in the other box here, it looks a little bit empty, but we have actually lots of onions and garlic growing over there, and some herbs. And this box is what we planted a week ago. So the most important thing is for us, especially in the wintertime, that we constantly grow more and more and more. We never have like, oh, we planted everything, that's it. We keep filling in the whole time, because that's how we will maintain that we will have enough food to eat. So in here, obviously, we have a lot of cabbage. We have the purple cabbage and we have green cabbage. We love cabbage and feel like it's very versatile, so we grow a lot of that. We have some lettuce that was left over from that box. And then we have kale, more kale, lots more dino kale and curly kale, because again, that is the one thing that we eat a lot of. And if you look over to the other box, at the end here, that is a box that we also had earlier. So we actually have some carrot volunteers. I think someone dropped some carrot seeds, will be my guess. But we also have a lot of broad beans, also known as fava beans, growing, and they are fantastic. They're kind of big bean, but we use them for falafels and for hummus and stuff like that. It's really, really good, and they're really high in protein, and they're really easy to grow, and they actually add nutrients to the soil instead of soaking it up like a lot of other ones. We also have some broccoli that was actually in this box, and when we was rebuilding it, we moved them over there, and clearly they're very happy. So one thing that we have to do in San Diego is protect our plants against the heat and the sun in the summertime. So we have these that we can pull down and we can roll them up. So today, for example, we know we're gonna have a heat wave, we're gonna have strong sun, and we have new plants in there, so we actually rolled it down. This is south facing, so they will actually protect all the plants. And in the summertime, we can even roll up on the top, and it becomes really nice shade. That is the biggest challenge of growing in San Diego, is the sun and the heat. And so what we have to do is provide shade for our plants. like obviously in the fall it is not as many fruits growing, except in San Diego we actually have citrus trees. So this is actually our son's Liam's tree, and look at these beautiful cuties, and they're so sweet and they're giving so many. We have 3 of these kind of trees, so they will give us a lot of citrus tree, and they seem to give us citrus about 2 or 3 times a year, which is just fantastic. And then obviously we also have lemon tree, because lemons is something we use obviously a lot for cooking. And behind us here we have our peach tree. It's starting to lose its leaves, but it's kind of funny here in San Diego. So our apple trees and peaches and things like that, they don't naturally drop their own leaves. So we actually gonna have to physically go and pull off all these leaves for them to help them, because they're not natural, native, I should say, here to San Diego. Okay, so here are our potatoes, and we try to grow potatoes in the middle of summer. It doesn't work as well, and you can actually tell we had a little bit of chickens get out and hopped in here and start. What they do is they digging and they start eating some of the plants. I'm not very happy about that, but you know, it's life with chickens. But they are coming up. So these we planted, I would say maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, but look at how they're coming up. They're so strong, and they look beautiful. These are the red potatoes or the purple potatoes. I can't 100% remember now, but it's coming up, it's going to grow, and it's going to give us a lot of potatoes for the winter. So one thing we were told was that you cannot grow tomatoes in the winter, which I thought was just baloney, because we're in San Diego where it's pretty nice weather. And if I like, the weather in San Diego in the wintertime is kind of like what it is in the Sweden fall or spring, and you definitely grow tomatoes. So anyway, we are growing tomatoes all year round. It took us to last year to do that. Obviously it's not producing as many tomatoes as it does in the summertime, but we have a plenty of tomatoes, so they give us tomatoes so we don't have to buy any. So you can see these, like, look at that, they're doing so great. We're getting a lot of tomatoes, and generally we do not have tomatoes here in the back in the winter time. Summertime they give a little shade, so we put them here. In the winter time we actually put them in the driveway, because we found that they get the most amount of sun there. So I will show you that. Okay, so here you can see how we have our tomato plants here along the line of our driveway. We actually don't use our driveway very often. My dream would be to actually take out the driveway completely and just grow vegetables here, but it's a later project, I guess. So, but they're growing here, they get a lot of nice sun. These are planted last week, so they're still very small, but they already have tomatoes and flowers on them. Okay, so here we have the broccoli growing that we planted about, I would say, 10 days ago, and they're coming along really nice. They've been definitely having a little bit of harder time, I should say, because of the heat. And then also this year has been just terrible when it comes to caterpillars. We have had, like, it's such a big invasion, and I think it's with the heat, quite frankly. But they're coming along now, and they're growing, because broccoli is one of the really important crops that we grow as vegans. We eat a lot of broccoli, obviously, and we try to grow so much broccoli that we will put in the freezer and have for the whole year. When we can't grow broccoli, obviously. And here we have actually spaghetti squash, lots of them. It's been very easy to grow them this year. We already had one plant that gave us a lot of them. Now, this is kind of a funny story. This was supposed to be my pumpkin patch, and I was so excited about having lots and lots of pumpkins for Halloween, for carving, and then for Thanksgiving. Well, somewhere the seeds got mixed up, and I have a little bit surprised when I looked at them, and I go, wait a minute, no, that's not a pumpkin, that's a spaghetti squash. You know, they say that there's no mistakes in gardening, it's just experiments, and well, I had one, definitely. So, but these are going to be very appreciated too.